You're listening to AnaerdaTV on CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby. Welcome to the hour of spoilers, recommendations, and my perspective on various TV shows and web series. I'm your host, Adriana Buller. This week, I shall talk about the NBC TV series called Timeless. Unfortunately, it isn't as timeless as I had hoped it would be. I'll explain my lame joke later on. I hope someone got it though. If you tuned in last week, then you know that I talked about Kim's Convenience, and the response was amazing. The cherry on top, however, was when Andrew Pung, the actor who plays Kimchi in the show, liked my tweet about my podcast regarding the show. So later down the week, I post my podcast up on YouTube, and then what I do is I tweet about it, and he liked it, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening. Me being me, I posted a small video about it regarding the fact that Andrew Pung liked my tweet, and then I posted it on my Instagram story. A few hours later, he replied to the story. Well, basically, if you tag someone in your Instagram story, they kind of get to see it. So he saw it and he replied to it. This is like one of the best days ever. I think I have a habit of forgetting that celebrities and other social media accounts with large following have people running it. Because I don't know. I just feel they're like so far high up there that if I contact them, they won't reply back. But that's not like the truth. And now that I hear myself saying this, I'm considering sending memes to different celebrities to see who replies. I mean, you don't know. People need memes in their life. Honestly, I love it when people take time out of their lives to, reply to people. Speaking of which, I have been known to reply very fast to messages. So if you want to communicate with me, then you can do so through Instagram and Twitter. I am mostly on Instagram, although I barely post pictures at times. Well, currently, I'm posting pictures from this event that happened weeks ago. I mean, you could check it out. But usually, my Instagram stories have like fresh memes or like dank memes or something up there that makes me laugh, and I hope it will make you laugh too. I'm going way off topic, but that's okay. It's my show. Thank you, CJSF, for giving me a platform. I actually started volunteering for CJSF about a year ago, and when I started, I did jambalaya. I still do jambalaya on Thursdays, 2 p.m. with my friend Humaira, if you want to check that out. A few of us volunteers do it together, but we have like our separate days and times. You can actually check out the schedule on CJSF's website if you want. It's pretty cool. We played various genre of music. It's very nice. I like it. So for about a year, I've been meaning to get my own show, but every time I kind of got down to the details of the show, it didn't work out because you have to write a proposal before you can get your own show. And every time I was like, I don't know, this idea sounds so great, but it just didn't make as much sense to me. But finally, I was like, okay, what defines me? What are the things that interest me? Because I don't think I'll be able to do a show that doesn't interest me, or if I just see it as a work. I need to be able to enjoy it. And then I was like, you know what? One thing I always do is watch TV shows, web series, and so many other things. I'm usually procrastinating and watching it, which is not a good thing. Kids, do not procrastinate and watch series or binge watch things. Do it responsibly, then it's cool. Yeah, however, I ended up with the show, and I'm like so happy about it. I actually had someone ask me what AnaerdaTV stands for. Anarda is basically Adriana backwards, and TV, it's just, I don't know, adds to the aesthetics, I guess. I will give you guys a fair notice that today's podcast will have more songs than the last two episodes. It's because I have a lot to say about the show. I really do, because it's one of my favorite shows, like I have mentioned before. Most of the shows that all of the things that I'm going to cover in like different episodes are my favorite list. But anyways, I'm feeling kind of under the weather, and I hope you guys understand. On that note, the first song of the podcast is Jolt by Unlike Pluto. Hello, amazing listeners. I appreciate you all being here with me. How are you feeling on this particular day? I hope all is well, but things about to get better. So our topic of discussion today is timeless. Timeless? Really? Okay. So it's Timeless. It's a science fiction time travel drama series. My mom actually got me into the series. Speaking of my mother, she did call me after last week's podcast, but for unrelated reasons that had nothing to do with the podcast. When I let her know what I said about her when talking about the episode Best Before from Kim's Convenience, she denied all my claims and asked me to let you all know that. She was trying so hard not to laugh when she was telling me all this. I was like, Mom, you know deep down. But she was like, nope, I deny everything. So I am being a very good daughter and letting you guys know that my claims were not as true as I had believed. Yeah, perhaps. Anyways, so she started watching Timeless, and one day in between study breaks, I saw one episode with her, and that was it. Just one episode, and I absolutely fell in love with the series. Well, I know you might be like, okay, one episode is too fast to fall in love with the series. Listen, it was love at first sight. Unfortunately, the series has seen some bad times. So far, there are 2 seasons of the series, and we're waiting for a movie that will act as a 2-part series finale. Right after season 1, NBC actually canceled the show. Although 3 days later, they renewed the series for a 2nd season, but they canceled the series again. However, NBC has announced that we're getting a 2-part finale that will tie up the series. This movie will air on December 20th, 2018. So I'm waiting because it's like a month away, and I'm just like, yeah, we're getting Timeless series. I am really excited for it, but I haven't seen season 2 yet. Yes, you heard that correctly. I haven't watched season 2 yet. I just watched season 1, and I'm about to fangirl about season 1 mostly today because I haven't seen season 2. Season 2 only has 10 episodes, and I'm on purposely not watching it yet just so that I don't have to let go of the show. I know, it's kind of cheesy. Yeah, I get emotionally attached to shows and the characters. Anywho, the premise of the show is that a history professor, a soldier, and an engineer are brought together to capture the culprit who stole an experimental time machine. Later on, they find out that the thief is planning to rewrite American history. But more importantly, the 3 of them find out that each of them have a connection to the thief's plan and with the mysterious organization that funded the whole project. Did I catch your interest? Good. Well, go on and add the show to your watch list while I come back after I play a song called Eye of the Storm by What Wyatt. You're listening to AnaerdaTV on CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby. I know it's a Saturday morning. I was hoping I woke you guys up so that you can listen to the rest of the podcast. But I really love the song. And if you watch the series, you will understand why I played Eye of the Storm. It kind of relates. Yeah, most of the songs that I will play in the future as well in the podcast is either a song that I particularly feel relates to the show, or it's just something I absolutely love. And if you guys actually want to check out the playlist of this podcast, I have that linked in Spotify, or you can search it up in Spotify. It's called AnaerdaTV. It's pretty easy to find. Also, just let me know what kind of song you guys like so that I know what to play, sort of, and kind of mold it and shape it that way, because I do want you guys to enjoy. And I understand if you guys don't particularly like my taste in music, although I would say it's amazing because, like, it's my taste in music, you know? All right, I'm gonna stop boasting about my music taste and let's dive into the description of the main characters and the lovely people who act as them and kind of brings them to life. First up, we have Lucy Preston, who is played by Abigail Spencer. So Lucy is the history professor and the leader of the lifeboat team. Lifeboat is the name of one of the time machines, as you can understand that Lucy is a part of the team that rides the lifeboat time machine. I'm doing air quotations, but you can't see that because it's on radio. But yeah, Lucy is like the main character. Most of the plot kind of revolves around her. I mean, this girl gets so much changed in her life a couple of times when she travels back in time. To explain it a little better, when you go back in time and change a few things, the present also changes a little. I feel really bad for her because in another episode she comes back and she has a fiance. Like, boom, damn, this girl, she goes through a lot. The actor who plays her, Abigail, she does an amazing job of it because you can clearly see how the character is sort of confused and she's just like, wait, what's happening? And as a time traveler, I guess that's kind of how your reaction would be when you're going in the past as a history prof. Well, basically, she's very crucial to the team, and most of the times her knowledge gets them out of potential messes, and that's kind of one of the reasons why she's there, because she knows a lot about history and, you know, she kind of gives them a heads up because most of the episodes are regarding other important historical figures. So she, as a history professor, knows about them. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. So when it comes back to mind, I'll let you guys know. Again, if you hear a flip of the page, it's because I am going through my journal and I'm kind of not figuring out, although I might say, yeah, I'm figuring out my handwriting because when I write them, I feel like I will understand them later on. And then it gets confusing after a bit. So I'm trying to decipher my own notes and let you guys know what I researched on. Next up, we have Wyatt Logan, played by Matt Lanter. The character is a U.S. Army Delta Force operative. Whoa, a lot on his title. He is the soldier of the lifeboat team. Again, I did air quotations. So basically, my boy here is the security support of the team. Mostly if you see them get into some trouble and they need to get out of there, or they need they're getting fired at or gunned at, he's always there to help. So Wyatt. Yeah, I said Wyatt. I don't know why. Wyatt has a sad backstory and he tries to change that a few times. I mean, whenever he gets the opportunity, unfortunately he fails. Although I am not complaining because my ship has a better chance of being canon if his wife doesn't come back. Guess who my ship is? I'm pretty sure you know, because that's kind of like one of the main ships, aside from the time machines that are also called ships. All right. I was gonna say then he have. Makes no sense, honestly. I don't know. Like I said, I'm feeling kind of under the weather. Okay, cut me some slack. Then we have my genius boy Rufus Carlin. I cannot decipher my own notes. So Rufus is played by Malcolm Barrett. The character is a programmer and the pilot of the lifeboat team. Rufus is one of those characters who you instantly fall in love with. He's so kind and understanding, and at a point he's asked to spy on the lifeboat team because their superiors kind of don't trust the team. They have enough reason to believe that something might be going down, and they don't particularly want the team to know, because the organization that made the whole thing possible, it is very mysterious, and we know that it's Mason Industry, but there is a lot in depth with it. We get Rittenhouse, the name thrown here and there from time to time. From the very beginning, the whole show is kind of on mysterious grounds. So when Rufus is told to spy on them, I'm just like, my dudes, you need a spy. Like, why do you want to spy on my dream team? Don't spy on them. But I guess it kind of makes sense because they do conspire from time to time, because they go through some realizations and they realize that the people that are their bosses are not exactly as good as they had hoped or thought they would be. My boy Rufus kind of tells them that I don't want to spy anymore, but he gets threatened later on. The organization says that you have a family, so if you want to see them, you better spy on your friends. The more episodes that you watch, you see how things kind of unravel, and you're left going, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I was like, oh, it's going to be predictable. They go back in time, they're going to fix things, and then they're going to come back and then done. But no, there's more to it. There is this huge spoiler regarding Lucy that I know, I know I warned you guys that AnaerdaTV is not spoiler free, but this one is too big, and I'm trying so hard to refrain myself from letting you guys know. But I'm gonna do it because I want you guys to see the show. But if you have already seen the show, try to not comment about it so that other people can enjoy it. But, I'm not stopping you. There are other important main characters. I'm going to skip ahead and talk about Garcia Flynn, who is played by Goran Vishnik. I pronounced that correctly because while I was researching, I literally Googled how to spell his name. He's a American Croatian actor. So the character of Flynn, he is the guy that the lifeboat team chases when he steals the mothership. Flynn was a former NSA asset, and at the beginning, we knew him as the bad guy, but it is slowly revealed that he's actually one of the good ones, and you kind of relate to him. Basically, Mason Industries made 2 time machines, the lifeboat and mothership. The mothership is like a better and faster version of the lifeboat. It's the more advanced time machine. It takes less time to charge. It is kind of easier to hide it. It's just the better one. It's like the mothership, The lifeboat was a prototype. It was also supposed to work as the backup time machine. I feel bad for saying that. Lifeboat is kind of the time machine you keep on seeing over and over in the show because that's what the main team uses. However, in some episodes, we see that Flynn made a jump back in time, and the lifeboat team has to wait for the lifeboat to recharge before being able to go after Flynn for like a second or a third time. So the mothership, like I mentioned, charges very fast. So the mothership can make a lot of jumps back in time through timelines and all that, back and forth with no problem. But the lifeboat takes time to charge. And there is a few episodes where you see that it is a big problem. Also, the lifeboat only holds 3 passengers, and this is very crucial to the plot. One time, the lifeboat does carry 4 passengers, and we see one passenger comes out with some extraordinary powers. I won't say, not particularly powers, but extraordinary visionary abilities. Guys, it's time to listen to another song. It's called Indestructible by Not Your Dope. Welcome back. You're listening to AnaerdaTV on CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby. Guys, we had our first caller. Yeah, someone actually called in the show and asked me what show I'm talking about. It's Timeless. I'm talking about Timeless. And I realized that a lot of the people, they don't know that season 2 came out. But yeah, season 2 came out. It actually came out this year. So it's kind of not that big of a common knowledge. Yeah, that totally makes sense as a sentence. Absolutely spot on, Adriana. I know. All right, I'm so excited. Can you feel my excitement? Yeah, I hope you can, because AnaerdaTV is actually a legit show, and it's like airing, and I have people that actually listen to it. Oh my god, I'm like so excited. All this time because I usually just assume not as many people are listening in as just my friends and family, but people actually listen in. Okay, I'm gonna stop fangirling about my own show and talk about the show I'm here to talk about, which is Timeless. Whew, breathe in. Okay, so let's get into the details of the episodes in season 1. Again, I haven't watched season 2 yet, but if you want to, you can let me know what is your favorite episode so that I can pay extra attention to these episodes while I'm watching season 2. But I hear season 2 is really great and it has very great premises, and I'm really excited to watch it. I really am, but I kind of don't want to let go of the show. Season 1 kind of has a lot going on, because if you move away from your TV for a bit, you're kind of like, you come back and you have to rewind. Like I said, there's so much going on. Now, I'm not going to go that much into details because I do want you guys to watch it if you haven't. I'm just going to pick out details from here and there and kind of talk about it. Episode 2 of season 1 is called The Assassination of Abraham Lincoln. So the premise is that Flynn travels to April 14th, 1865, the date of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. He works for John Wilkes Booth, intending to ensure the success of the planned assassinations of Vice President Andrew Johnson, Secretary of State William H. Seward, and General, I'm not going to pronounce it, Grant. General Grant is what I'm going to say. Lucy meets Robert Todd Lincoln and attends the fateful performance of Ford's Theater as his guest. Flynn, frustrated with Booth's refusal to use modern firearm, takes his place and murders Lincoln himself. But Lucy saves Grant while Rufus and Wyatt save Johnson and Seward, respectively. In the present, Lucy learns that her parents never meet because her father married the granddaughter of a Heidelberg passenger, which means that the man who raised her was never really her biological father. That is an information that might mess you up if you did not know of it, if you weren't aware of it. Moving on, Rufus refuses to make further recordings for Connor. Like I said, Rufus was asked to spy on the lifeboat team, but Connor forces him to continue on the basis of having financed his education. It is revealed that both are aware of Rittenhouse. Again, I'm making air quotations. Lucy arrives home late for her own engagement party, where she confronts her mother over her father's identity, but is interrupted by a greeting from her fiancé, whom she does not know. In this episode, a lot happens, obviously, but Lucy not only realizes that her father figure was never her biological father, and then she comes back and she has a fiancé. And the sad part is, I feel bad for the fiance, because in his timeline, it just all of a sudden one day Lucy wakes up and pretends not to know him, kind of, because they don't have as much as chemistry between them, because obviously Lucy does not remember him, but how is she exactly going to tell the fiance that? I feel bad about how to explain things, and a lot of the time it pulls on your heartstrings when you see that the present kind of changes. You're like, oh no. Like I said, in one of the episodes, Lucy kind of comes back and sees that her sister did not even exist in this timeline. This particular episode, it was very nicely done. And oh, I should mention this before I forget. This is what I initially forgot when I was talking about it before. The costume designing of this show is like spot on, because they go to different eras because they go back in time, right? And the costume designing is absolutely marvelous. I love it. And the three of them look amazing in them. Some of the costumes get ridiculous, and in the show the characters are like, are you serious? But they're nice. I like them. So yeah, when you watch episode 2, remember me that I told you about this. So let me kind of like try and explain what Rittenhouse is, right? If you are aware with like history and everything, Rittenhouse was one of the clockmakers, significant clockmakers, and in this show, Rittenhouse is not just a person, it's like a whole organization that is behind the time machines themselves. They have a whole plan of what to do with the time machines. It's not as good. If you remember me saying that Flynn, initially we see him as the bad guy because he is going back in time and trying to change the past. And if he does succeed, a lot of the things in the present changes. Maybe for the worse, that's what we all assume. That's why the lifeboat team kind of keeps on chasing him back in time whenever he goes, and Lucy, being a history professor, she kind of can understand where Flynn is going based on the time and location. Later on, however, we find out that Flynn actually makes these jumps based on Lucy's notebook. Yeah, Lucy's journal. So Flynn has Lucy's journal from possibly another timeline, and he's using that as a kind of resource to go back in time and change a few things. Flynn's whole mission is to make sure that Rittenhouse doesn't exist. Even at a point, he tries to go back in time and kill Rittenhouse, but that kind of doesn't go as well because Rittenhouse at that time was a kid, and Lucy does not let Flynn kill the kid, and Flynn's like, oh, you're gonna regret this. This was part of the mission, although I do not condone killing anybody. Do not do that. I guess that's why we kind of saw Flynn as the bad guy, because he did not show as remorse as he should probably when he was carrying out the bad deeds, but he says it's for the greater good. At a point though, Lucy confronts her mother and she asks who her biological father is. Lucy's mom is at first not as keen to let Lucy know that, but later on she's like, okay, I'll give you the name. And Lucy kind of finds out that her father has some form of connections to Rittenhouse. All the three characters, they have some sort of connection with Rittenhouse. Although I am very, very, very interested to know Wyatt's wife's connection to Rittenhouse, because no matter how much this dude tries to go back in time and change things, his wife always stays dead, unfortunately. In one episode, you see that he goes back in time and he tries to he tries to make sure that the mother and father of one of the biggest murderers doesn't meet. But what happens is that he kind of messes things up. Although the serial killer later ceased to exist, but it somehow doesn't change anything about Wyatt's wife, which is very confusing, and I kind of want to know how things go. I know I'm going off topic and I'm not necessarily talking about the season's episode particularly, but I have so much to say that I don't think I kind of want to concise it by talking about episodes to episodes. Now, a few of the things after watching season 1 and not watching season 2, I have a few questions, and I feel like when I was researching, I looked up this website called therap.com, and they had some very amazing questions that actually I had to ask after season 1, and again, because I didn't see season 2, they're not yet answered to me. So there was this one question that they said was, what does Rittenhouse do? Like, we know Rittenhouse is an evil Illuminati-like organization, but we don't necessarily know their actual agenda. I mean, obviously their whole main primary goal is to stay all powerful, but there has to be more to it. I mean, it seems that Rittenhouse is about to remake history in however they want, because Rittenhouse is a person, but at the moment, in the present, Rittenhouse is like a whole organization. Kind of want to see how in season 2 they go in depth with it. If you guys want to check out that page where they have more information about it, it's by therap.com. I believe it's timeless questions for season 2 or something. I'll try to link it. Is this the last we'll see of Noah? Noah is Lucy's fiance, and the thing is, we don't see much of him because obviously Lucy is kind of trying to ignore him in a sense, because she doesn't really know him. She doesn't know much about them. She doesn't have much chemistry. Although we do see that Noah's doctor skills becomes useful in the finale. After that, Lucy kind of broke up with him. But I feel like this article is correct and they might have a connection. Everyone in that series somehow is linked to Rittenhouse. Now, I'm about to tell you guys something that might be a big spoiler for a lot of you. Is Lucy's mom super evil? Now, hold up. I know. So, in the beginning of the show, we kind of see that Lucy's mom is sick and not as healthy. After one particular episode when Lucy goes back in time and comes back and her sister is erased from the timeline, her mother is not sick anymore and she's alright, okay. So in the finale, Lucy kind of says to her mom that I want to go back in time and bring back my sister, but the thing is, you might get sick again. And Lucy's mom's like, sweetie, Rittenhouse is not gonna allow you to do that. And Lucy's like, wait, you know about Rittenhouse? And yeah, basically Lucy's mom is aware of time travel and Rittenhouse's master history alteration plan because she is part of it. And Lucy's kind of like a royalty baby because she's the child of 2 people that are part of Rittenhouse. It's a whole interesting show. You guys should really watch it. I know I keep on like telling you guys to watch it because I do really want you guys to watch it. If you want, you can try to postpone watching it till say December 20th so that you can also watch the season finales. Well, the 2-part finale series. I think it's time to play another song. This is called This Is My World by Esterly. Welcome back, amazing listeners. I just realized I forgot to ask my first caller what his name was. So I did that out of excitement and not because I was totally nervous to take the call. We're almost actually at the end of this week's AnaerdaTV, but I have a little more to say. I kind of want to appreciate the writers of Timeless. You guys are absolutely amazing. You can check out their Twitter. They kind of update what they're up to. And as I can see that they're done filming for the 2-part finale, they're just in the editing rooms editing for us. Yeah, thank you. You guys are amazing. And I really love their Twitter. In their Twitter, their location says all over history. It's very interesting. You should check them out. I'm gonna play one last song before I go. It's called Chosen Ones by Mountains vs. Machine. That's all the time we have for today. Do tune in next week, same time. That is Saturday, 10 a.m. I will be waiting for you with more spoilers, recommendations, and my take on different series. If you wish to recommend me something, send me theories about TV shows and web series, or even to just show some love, then you can follow or message me. All my social media handle is Adriana Ballur. Thank you all of you for listening. Take care, stay safe, and keep on binge watching responsibly. Until next time, bye.